Hey there, and welcome back to the Homemade Haven. This morning we are kind of scrambling. To be honest, I completely forgot that we had chicks arriving today, and the post office just called. It's about 8:30 in the morning, and I have failed to pick up the bedding and the food and everything that these little baby chicks need to come home with us. So we are getting ourselves together really fast and running to Tractor Supply and going to pick up our chicks and bring them home. Ooh, it's foggy out. So, in our last video where we set up a new perimeter fence around our chicken area, I told you guys that we were going to hold on to the chickens that we had probably until spring of next year, 2023, because the specific breed that we wanted were not going to be available until then. Well, one of the breeders that we were hoping to work with reached out and said that one of the people on their list decided to back out last minute. So she contacted me and asked, would you like to have this batch of chickens? So of course I said yes. So lo and behold, 2 days later, here they are at our post office, and we are running out the door to pick these guys up and bring them home. Still as possible. Where are we going? Where are we going? Okay, just a quick little drive to the post office right down the road, this little tiny post office. I figured we'd go ahead and pick up the chicks first before we got all of the supplies, because they do take a lunch break at this office, and I'm not sure how fast we'll be able to get into town, pick up all that stuff, and get back to them. And really, I'm sure the post office workers would be happy for us to pick up the little squeaking chicks, so they don't have to listen to them that much longer. So let's go inside and pick them up. Okay, got the goods. Okay, so we're gonna do a head count and see how many made the journey. Hopefully all of them, so that we can let our lady know.
Not hold the knife sideways.
Very careful. Alright. Looks like everybody's alive.
Hey, the chickies. They're all tangled up.
I'm just trying to stay warm. So baby chicks that are fresh like this, these were just hatched either yesterday or the day before. They need to be kept around 90 degrees Fahrenheit, so obviously the inside of the post office and the inside of the car are not that warm, but we'll do our best to keep them warm till we get them home and can get some heat on them.
This one's really cold. Oh, his little feet are cold.
Okay, so these are American Bresse chickens. I'll talk to you a little bit more about the breed later and why we chose these chickens. For now, we're going to hit the road, head to Tractor Supply, get our supplies and get them home and out so that they can stretch their legs, get some water, some feed, and get nice and toasty. And they're pretty darn cute. I don't know how this always happens, but every time we go to pick up chicks, we end up at a chicken place to eat, and so here we are at Bojangles. And I promise, we don't eat this way often. It just happens on days that we pick up chickens. So, anyway. Got some things. Ray is gathering some supplies right now. We'll show you guys how we set up a really quick chicken brooder. These guys are ready to come out of here. Okay, so this is actually the same area that we had our wild rabbits set up on our back porch a few months ago. You guys might recall that video. And sadly, since then, we did let them go back into the wild. We just figured they were big enough and we really wanted them to be wild bunnies and not held in captivity their whole life. So bunnies are gone, chicks are here ready to take their place, and we do have one other addition to show you guys. I kind of made a hint about it in a YouTube short. You might have caught that, but we'll show you guys that one here in a little bit. For now, let's get to setting up this chick brooder so we can get these little chickies out and fed and watered and on to living their little chickie life. So the start of our chick brooder is actually just a really large Rubbermaid Tupperware. I believe this one is like 50 gallons. Yep, 50 gallons. And it has this really thick and sturdy lid that comes with it. We cut out a rectangle on the top of it, and then we just puncture some holes to put this hardwire cloth onto and secured it with some little zip ties, and that's it. This is just super simple. It's easy to clean out. It's cheap to get started, and it lasts a really long time. So that's our go-to for our chick brooder. Next, we're adding some pine wood shavings. You can find these at Tractor Supply. We use the thicker pine shavings rather than the tiny flakes because the chicks will eat the little pieces of wood, so this just kind of helps deter them from doing that. We like this pine wood shaving because it's easy to compost once they get all their poop and pee and spilled food and water on it. We can just toss it into our compost pile and it breaks down really quick and easy. Reagan's a pro at setting up chick brooders. She's done this a time or two. Up next, we're going to fill our feeder. We're using a non-GMO chick starter crumble. This is very easy for them to pick up and eat, and we just rather stick to non-GMO than have our animals eating genetically modified foods. Okay, while Reagan is filling up their waterer, I thought I'd show you guys a couple things to keep on hand for chicks as well. So we have a thermometer that we like to keep inside of the bin. It's pretty warm here still. I think it's like 85 degrees today. It is a little bit cooler on the back porch, and we do keep our ceiling fans running, so it's probably a good 10 degrees cooler up here. And like I mentioned, baby chicks that are just a few days old, I believe it's like for the first week, you need to keep them somewhere around 90 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's where our heat lamp comes in. We will find something to attach the heat lamp to suspend it over the top of the brooder to give them some extra heat. And as they get older, you kind of taper the heat off a little bit. As their feathers come in, they can regulate their own body heat a little bit better. Okay, so we have our feeder, our water, our thermometer's ready. We've got our bedding that's down in there. We're ready to add our chicks. Alright, so first things first, we're going to take the baby chicks and dip their beaks into the water so that they know where the water is at. They have not had any water to drink just yet, so this is kind of like introducing them to where their food and water is so that they can continue to feed and water themselves.
Starting to find the water.
So typically we use a ladder, and we just put the ladder right across the brooder and clamp our lamp onto, but we are using the ladder for a project that you guys will see in an upcoming video. So we're going to use this cart that we bought off of Amazon. We have a couple of these carts that we use for like drying our soaps and starting our plant seeds and stuff like that. So these carts are amazing. You can take different levels off of them and move them up and down. We've just arranged it like so, and we're planning to just hook our lamp right up here.
The other way.
Just like this. And then we can plug it into the wall there. So it's currently about 85 degrees inside of the brooder, so I'm not going to turn the lamp on. They seem like they're doing just fine. You'll really know when the chicks are cold. They'll start huddling all together and they'll start crying. They're really uncomfortable, but they're pretty content right now, probably because they're getting their bellies full for the first time. Or if they start acting like they're getting chilly, we'll turn this lamp on to help give them, bless you, a little bit of extra warmth. But I'm thinking that we'll probably be able to leave it off until tonight. And you'll notice when you turn your lamp on, if it's too close, too warm, that they'll start spreading, trying to get away from the heat. So you'll need to adjust the height of your lamp just according to your chicks. So pay attention to them, put your thermometer in there, and that'll help you where the exact temperature is. So let's talk about the breed of chicken that we got. We ordered 15 American Bresse chicks from a local breeder here in our state. Now, the breed has been gaining some more popularity over the past couple of years with people trying to be more and more self-sufficient on their own homestead and farm. We've been looking at this breed for a few years because of their dual purpose on the homestead. Not only do they lay a good amount of eggs per year, but they are also a great meat bird. You might remember that we processed our first batch of meat birds last year with some friends of ours on their poultry farm. We ordered some jumbo Cornish cross chickens from a hatchery. Those chickens did just fine. They lived healthy, wonderful lives, and all of them made it to processing day, and we were happy with the results. Everything was great, but the only issue that we had with them was that we have to order from a hatchery. So those chickens are specifically bred to just grow a massive amount of meat in a short amount of time so that you can go ahead and process them within like 6 to 9 weeks. You don't keep them for eggs because usually by the time they are to the point of laying eggs, they have either already died because they have health issues. They're just not bred to live that long of a lifespan. They're just not a great reproducing breed to keep your farm with a sustainable meat source. So with that being said, we would be completely reliant on a hatchery to have meat birds here on our farm, and we just don't like that idea because of the way things are in the world right now with shipping delays, with different issues as far as avian flu and just multiple factors that can come up to prevent you from getting these birds onto your farm. So we decided to find a breed of chicken that we can raise here on our farm that will not only lay eggs for us to eat, but also that we can grow out their eggs and continually have a source of meat on our farm. So before we end this video, I wanted to take you guys to show you one more addition that we've made to our farm. We were not really planning on adding this animal anytime soon. It was kind of just a thought, but one popped up and it was a great deal, great situation, so we went ahead and took advantage. We had kind of toyed around with the idea of getting a meat rabbit, mostly just for breeding purposes, because if we should ever need a secondary source of meat until we get our larger livestock, we would have breeding stock here already. I have family that has meat rabbits that we might end up breeding together, but for now we just have a pet. So meet Trixie Bunny. She is a California and New Zealand mix, about 3 years old. And she's already had several litters of bunnies before. A little shy still. She's cute. If you guys have any tips or tricks for raising meat rabbits as far as diet and forage and that type of thing, please leave those in the comments below, because we are still learning and we want to do our best for her and make her nice and comfortable and healthy and safe while she's here. So that's it as far as new animal additions here on our homestead. For now. A super quick sneak peek of our current project. You guys will have to come back for another video to see that one. But for today, that's pretty much it. We wanted to show you guys a few changes that we're making here on our homestead to keep us a little bit more self-sufficient and self-sustainable, and also show you guys a super quick and easy brooder setup. We hope that maybe you learned something and that you are motivated to maybe try something new or find other ways to make your household more self-sustainable. We appreciate you guys joining us on this adventure, and until the next video, we will see you later.